TV. Hope you're having a good one. What's good? What's good? What's good? Was your day good? My day was actually pretty good. It was actually pretty good. I'm not asking any questions tonight. Like, there's not going to be an official poll or anything like that. We're just going to let it rock. Tonight, Friday Flips is more of an open conversation about all things investment. So let it rip. Let the conversation rip. I'm going to do some news like we always do, but the conversation is pretty much open. The only thing I appreciate is if you let us all know that you invested in yourself. And if you do have a question, kind of give us a hint in the question that you've done at least a little bit of research on it and you're not just asking a question to have somebody else do the work for you. Other than that, yeah, it's a pretty open night. It's a pretty open night. And the reason why is because we have an international crowd. Okay? This community is absolutely international. Right? And so sometimes people are not comfortable asking in public, and we want to create just a safe space for everybody. Hey, A-Pause, thanks for letting us know you invested in yourself today. But is that a question? Are you asking us that you did, or are you telling us that I can't tell. We can't tell with that question mark at the end of your sentence. I know I'm going to catch it for that. But the idea is that Grow My Bag is a safe space to ask questions. It's a safe space to have debates. We can have debates. We can disagree with each other. It's just all about respect, a mutual respect for everyone, because my views and my situation might lead me toward something else that's different from you. Or your thoughts and opinions might help me figure my own out. And that's a big help either way. So if this is the first time it was Siri, oh, now you're gonna blame the technology? That's pathetic. You're not gonna get away with that. We're not letting you get away with that. We're gonna bug you all day long. Because who was it? It was Captain Banana she was always fighting with Siri. So yeah, now it's you. Please. Yo, Rick Ritchie in his house. Thank you for letting us know that you invested in yourself today, because that's important. So I wanted to share, before we really get into the news, I wanted to share some really cool stuff. And what I'm probably going to do is probably tomorrow I'm going to hop on and just show some of the features of the website. So the features that I want are there. We just need to make it look prettier, put buttons on the page, that kind of thing. But let's suppose, Rick Ritchie is on the site, or 8Paws is on the site, I'm on the site. I can drop them a DM now. That's right, direct messaging. Something else I can do. Maybe Rick Ritchie starts sharing his research, and I go, you know what? I want to follow Rick Ritchie. Boom. Now I'm following Rick Ritchie. But here's something that's better. I can also connect directly to Rick Ritchie, meaning that we have a connection. Think of it as networking. That's right. That's there now. Something else that we wanted to have that we didn't have before is the ability to block people. Maybe this person doesn't do anything against the community or anything like that. I just don't like that person. Boop. I can block them. And of course, we can kick them off the site. So the only thing that we have to turn on, not the only thing, we're just going to be continuously updating the site. One of the things that we want to turn on is the ability to flag a post, right? We want to have a system where we can flag the post, and we're almost done with that. But we're going to be rolling this out next week. Well, let me rephrase. Technically, it's on the site, and if I told you how to get there, you'd be able to get there, and you'd be like, oh, snap. So let's suppose you're on the feed, and you see a post by Eddie J on crypto. You could actually click on my avatar, go to my profile, and see that, oh, snap, I can follow, block, I can chat with them. It's open. So technically we could get there. But the idea is that We have a full-blown social media website, full-blown social media platform dedicated to investing. Those are really, really, really big steps for us. We've had simple things in the past, on other sites that we've built. This is by far probably the best site that we've built. It's got way more bells and whistles than we've ever had. And one of the things that kept us from really getting out there just now was, thank you, APAWS, was the idea that when you were DMing, it wouldn't update. Like if I sent you a message, it wouldn't update on your page for a while. Now it updates like almost instantly. So that was a big deal for us because we could have put out the other stuff a long time ago. And we're like, nah, we kind of want to make it better, right? There was always something that we wanted to make better. And then we finally said, okay, let's define what it is that we want to put out there. And we said, well, the ability to DM is big. The ability to block somebody is big. The ability to follow somebody is big. And the ability to network is also big. We have a couple of more features going that are going to be geared toward businesses, to enable them to do some stuff on the platform as well. But this is huge for us. It's huge for us. It is huge because it really does say we are a social media platform. We still have a whole bunch of other stuff that we want to add. We've got a lot of stuff in the works. We have a whole roadmap, but yeah. So next week you can expect that DMs will be turned on, networking will be turned on, following will be turned on, blocking will be turned on. We're hoping to have a couple other things turned on at the same time, but we'll see what happens. But there's a lot. Something else that we want to do with DMs. So I have to know that I'm chatting with you. Oh, notifications. That's also going to be turned on. So the idea that if you're on the site, you get it, you'll be able to see a notification and be able to say, oh, well, what notification is it? Does somebody mention me? Did somebody add me to just whatever? I'd be able to see all the notifications. So somebody messaged me, we'd be able to see that. So there are a few things that are coming in over the next week, and we're really excited. We're really excited. Something else that I wanted to address. A couple of people have asked me a couple of things that we wanted to address. People who are asking me, well, why are you charging for the site? And I can understand the question. I can honestly understand the question. I'm not mad about the question. I think it's a valid question. This color is not valid, But the reason why we're charging for the site is because, well, number one, it takes a lot of work to actually build all this stuff out. It costs a lot of money, as you might expect, from hosting to development, all that stuff. All of it comes out of my own pocket. All of it. So yeah, we're charging for the site. We believe the site is worth it. We believe the site is worth it even just for the news. 13,000 articles that you can search against, that, you can do your own research, all that kind of stuff. That's a lot. And we're not done on that side. We're not done at all by a long shot. We still have our own knowledge base that we have to put up. The knowledge base itself is already done. Now it's about putting it up. Excuse me. So yeah, it's just us. Hey, Stanley. So when people say, well, why are you charging? Other sites are free. The reason why I'm taking deep breaths is because I have to remember that I can't brag. I love my team, and it's really easy for me to brag about my team. But the reason why we're charging is because it also helps from a security perspective, meaning when you go to Facebook, how many times, when you go to any one of the other platforms that you're not paying for, how many other times do you see people there and you're just like, I know that's a bot, or I know that's just whatever fake account. You can tell. You can tell by the interactions. You can tell by all that. Do you have your own AI on the website too? For us, Captain Banana, my girl, where were you yesterday, young lady? Where were you yesterday? I'm just saying, was it yesterday? It was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. I wore a certain shirt. Just saying. Just saying. We missed you, by the way. So the idea, and thank you very much. The idea is, just so you people know, there are some people on this site that have been here almost since day one. Captain Banana, Rick Ritchie, Eight Paws, Hutanic, Shikamoto. I mean, the list just goes on and on. D-Mac. There's just a whole big fat list of people that have been here supporting just from day one. Paula just been here, living through it, waiting for features. Waiting for features. So, yes, glad you saw it. So, but did you invest in yourself today? You know the rules. So the idea is that it helps with security. When you have a website that doesn't ask you for money, you are actually the product. You and your data are the product. And that's not what we want. Are there going to be ads on the site at some point? Yeah, of course there are going to be ads on the site at some point. But we're not going to be, for us, we don't plan on introducing ads in an invasive way. And that's one of the other reasons why we're charging, because if we can make money over here, then we don't have to be pressed over here. Like now, when I go to certain sites owned by a very large company, certain sites owned by a very large company, I've got to scroll a lot to see the posts from my friends. Now, we're not as sophisticated as other companies, but when you come to our site, you just see the posts. You just rock and roll, scroll on. You'll see posts from our accounts that we've dropped articles. You can go to the articles and you can actually respond to those articles. You can have a chat about those articles. We're about to have streaming on the site of the show. So that way, if because we really want the conversation to be on Grow My Bag and not YouTube or someplace else. Thank you for letting us know you invested in yourself today. I wouldn't use the term "shut up" with you. I would probably say there's an opportunity to listen. That's what I would say. Right? I'm trying to see the nicer side of things. Right? It's not about me shutting up. It's about giving myself the opportunity to listen. See what I mean? It's less harsh, and it really drives that positive point home for me. Of course, I'm a show host, so I have to talk. It's kind of my job, and I do a lot of speaking engagements. But there's a reason why we're charging. We're also not charging a lot. Are the prices going to go up at some point? Right now, we charge $1 a month for access to the regular feed, DMs, articles, and things like that. But we charge more for the groups. So right now, the only investment group that's actually on the site are the big baggers. We've been talking to other people that run their own investment groups, and we might start introducing other investment groups on the platform. Another group that we're definitely going to, thank you for that, Captain Banana. I see you. Something else that we're gonna be introducing. I told you we have a class coming up. That class is going to be introducing a new group, people that are interested in diving into businesses, like buying and selling businesses. So that will be a separate group. So we're trying to do things so that we can bring people together that all have the same kind of mindset. We're not talking about baseball, football, sports in general, politics, really. Politics, yes, only in terms of how does it directly affect your bags. Right? How does it affect us? And do we have to pay attention to it? Does it have, some kind of ramification against our value down the road or immediately? So things like that, sure. But having a conversation about politicians and all that kind of nonsense, nah, that's for another site. Talking about religion, nah, that's for another site. Talking about TV shows, nah, that's for another site. Unless it's a documentary, like Rick Ritchie told us about a documentary that was all about... Remind me, Rick Ritchie, is about the crash of 1929, right? Was it me that said it or you? I know you suggested something. I know I suggested something. There's like a whole list of shows, movies, documentaries that we've all spoken about, that we've all brought forward. A lot of it is political. but it's politics that affects your value directly. Not something where you've got to extrapolate and you've got to draw the lines and you've got to do arcs and curves and this. No. Directly affects your bags. The main point of any topic must be that it affects your bags in no matter what kind of investment vehicle you have. That's the idea of the site. So yeah, have we had Rick Ritchie and I have gotten into it. Hutanik and I have gotten into it. Cat Banana and I have gotten into it. It's always me and everybody else. Why? Because I'm the face that you see, so it's natural. But I think you guys all know that I'm not coming at you. I'm coming at the point that you're making. And there's a huge difference in that. I've got to respect a whole bunch of people. There are people here that I know for a fact did not vote in the United States the way I would have voted. But here, that doesn't matter. Here, what matters is we're all trying to grow our bags, and we all need a safe space to be able to say, hey, I don't know about that topic. Can you give me a little bit more? Can you point me in the right directions to learn about that topic? See what I mean? So that's why the site was born. I needed to teach this all to my kids. I needed to make it available to them. Frankly, as I get older, it's not a fear of dying. It's a fear of dying before I've had the chance to pass along my knowledge to my kids. And it's not a fear. It's a big fear. Like, how am I even going to play about that? I need to make sure that my kids know who I am. I need to know that they're prepared. I need to know that they have access to information that they might not otherwise gain access to. And by building this community, they will always have access. That's the idea. That's the idea. But the safe space part is for everybody, right? When we first started doing this, my youngest son was only 14. I've been at it for 4 years. For 4 years, we've been at this. We were on TikTok, got kicked off of TikTok, went back to TikTok, and now we're going to wind up leaving TikTok again because they changed their privacy policy. We're finding that we're probably going to, as we grow, we're going to be diminishing the content that we share elsewhere. Probably the only place that will have a significant amount of content going forward is probably just YouTube. Well, YouTube, Vimeo, like streaming services, right? So that's where we are. Now you know where I'm coming from, why I do what I do, how I do it, everything that's there. So if you go to growmybag.tv, next week is going to be a lot of fun. I mean, there's a lot of stuff there now. I mean, yeah. But there's going to be more next week. Imagine being able to say, I mean, especially for the big baggers. I mean, imagine being able to say, just drop a note, to one of your friends. Like, hey, what's up? How you doing? You good? And it sounds funny, but, I know people that have taken big hits since I started this 4 years ago. Big hits. And it would be nice to have a space where I could go, hey, is everything all right? You good? Your family good? Because you start to build relationships with people. Like, whenever Mr. Big is on, he does not miss saying hello to the rest of the big baggers. I don't know if you guys notice, but yeah, everybody says hello to each other. Those are conversations. Sometimes you'll hear me say there are conversations going on that don't concern me. I look down and I zip through it because it's hard to keep up with you guys and read everything. It's not easy. But when I read it, I'm like, oh, that's not for me. That's Rick Ritchie saying hello to 8 Paws. That's 8 Paws saying hello to Mr. Big. That's Hutanik saying hello to 8 Paws. Like, there are conversations that happen beyond me. And that's one of the reasons why we have the feed. That's one of the reasons why we have DMs coming. That's one of the reasons why we have all this stuff coming. Because sometimes you just want to have conversations with people that are like-minded, right? And what's really cool about this particular community is that it is impossible for us to be in a silo. There's nothing siloed here, nothing. Because not all of us agree with everything else that people are doing. We can understand it. We can even respect it. But it might not be what we do, and that's what makes us so powerful. The idea that we can come to the table with so many different thoughts and opinions and be able to discern between what we think would work for us and maybe not. And that's okay. So yeah, that's where we are. That's the big news that I have for today. Next week, I might hop on tomorrow. Depends on how much we can get done. But next week, we expect to have a little bit more polish on some of these products, some of these features that we're going to have, and they'll actually be there. Because it's going to be nice to be able to click on somebody's profile and be like, I want to message that person. Hey, what's up? It's kind of nice. I finished listening to Andrew Sorkin's 1929. It's a refreshing, different look on the crash. It goes really deep into the who, not just the what. I like the way he did it in a timeline fashion and told you and reminds you at what point in the timeline you're at. I think that's mad slick. And there's a certain amount of history to it, and there's a certain amount of these are some things are just straight facts, no fluff. You know what I mean? I think that's what I like about the book a lot. But I think that there are books, movies, documentaries that if you string them all together, you get a better picture of history. So some people might say, well, Eddie, why do you talk about, what was that movie, Margin Call? Why do you talk about that? Why do you talk about Too Big to Fail? Why do you talk about The Big Short? Because each one of them give you different perspectives and give you a little bit more about the people and the players involved. And you can go, wow, that's what that was. And you start to put it all together. And that's when you actually start looking at things now and you start going, yeah, the rollback of some of these things, that's dumb. We shouldn't be doing that. Because it puts us back where we were. So understanding history helps you maneuver in the future. But yeah, I thought it was a good book. I definitely thought it was a good book. Is anybody else reading any other books that we might want to be interested in? Just saying. I mean, I like history books, but I also like books that help us learn how to think. Or what somebody else's thought process was during a certain time. Right? When I was watching, man, I should watch it again tonight. Was it Too Big to Fail? I can see the actors' faces in it. It's the one with Demi Moore. I think it's Too Big to Fail. And I'm sitting there, I'm just watching some of the parts and things that are going on, and I'm just like, wow. You know, and there was another movie with, what's his name? James Woods. And his character, the person that he was playing, was just like, I know it all. I can do everything. And it turns out he was one of the people, his ego was the reason why everything failed. What is the new website? The one I'm looking at now has news, videos. Yeah, you're on the new website. So if you see my face, my avatar, in the Big Baggers feed, click my face. You'll land on my profile, or you should land on my profile. Right? I'm just going to walk through it while you go through it. Yeah, there I am. Oh. It doesn't do it from Big Baggers. Does it do it from the feed? Yeah, go to the feed. Not big Baggers, but go to the feed. And then can you find me? You can find the business account. You can find the Grow My Bag account. And then you click the avatar and then you'll be able to drop a note. If you want me to be able to see the note now, I think it's, is it? Yeah, go to /messages /@, Eddie J on crypto, and you'll see my profile, and you'll be able to be like, "Oh, what's up? What's up with this?" As a matter of fact, I think if I add a point here about UBS, UBS is a very interesting firm. There you go. Oh, I might have messed up this page because I messed up this page. So we may have to fix that. Oh, we definitely have to fix it because the reply button isn't working now. See what happens when you do stuff? But really, if you go to growmybag.tv/messages and then /@ Eddie J on crypto, you should see my profile and be able to chat from there. Imagine. I don't know your, so actually adding things to the site right now might be broken. Let me see. Test. Yeah, I got to tell them to fix the feed. I can do that right now. It's not going to happen right now, but I can let them know right now. Hey, cannot reply on the feed. Now you know why I said we're gonna drop that next week. But that feature, the messaging feature, is actually working right now. So I gave you a link on how to get there. What's your at? I can't ask you that on out loud. Because I don't know your handle on the site right now off the top of my head, or else I would drop you a note right now. Now has news, videos. Yeah, the videos have not been refreshed. Like I said, we've been working on a few things. The videos, I mean, obviously, we have the videos. So that's something that we have to do it. We have not added the new videos yet. But we've got a mechanism that will start adding the new videos when we launch these new features. That's the idea. I mean, but there are a lot of videos on there. They're just not up to date, right? Like we're in season 3 on some things, season 2 on other things. Like not all of them are there, but we will catch up the videos. They were caught up as of that date. And then we got to work and we said, okay, that's not something we have to worry about because we know that we have the videos to put them on the site. Right now, all the new videos are going to be on YouTube, but I think next week we should have all the videos on our site, and then they'll be put on our site every time there's a new video. Ta-da! So yeah, there's a lot. There are so many facets to the site that it's not even funny. Like if you didn't bring that up, I would have forgotten about it. You notice I didn't even mention it. So yeah, there's a lot, and then also some of the site is like big. So we want to tighten that up a little bit. So it's beautification, but the main things are there. I mean, we're gonna have to turn on reactions so that you can react to a message. So you can react to a message now. We just want to turn on another feature to it. So yeah, a lot. There's a lot. Anyway, enough about that. Enough about me. What kind of questions do you guys have? I haven't seen anybody ask any questions or anything. Yes, and pause, that message that you just wrote, you would be able to continue messaging and having conversations after the show. And that's one of the reasons why we want to start to, migrate the commentary from YouTube over to Grow My Bag so you can actually interact in one spot. Yeah, so not easy putting all this together. I mean, think about if you had to put together Facebook or Twitter or even X or Blue Sky or, just name one. Think about how much time, how much work, how big of a team, and just how much it costs to pull all that together. It's a lot. It's hell of a lot. But we've got news. Nobody's asking any questions, so I'm going to get to the news. Good with you? I don't see anybody crying about it, so I guess it's good. So resume.io did a survey of about 1,000 people. That's not a big survey. That's a really minuscule survey. But they're saying that 75% of those people, meaning 750 of those people, said that Nepo babies are ruining jobs. I want you to think about Larry Ellison's son. forgot his name, but Larry Ellison's son, the kid who got an F-16 fighter jet for his 16th birthday. True story. Go look it up. Bought a couple of things and fired a lot of people. And they're making changes that would make you sit there and kind of go, what? Yeah. Today, those 750 people identified Nepo babies as ruining businesses. That's not small. That's not small at all. That's interesting to me, right? Another good book is The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. It helps you look at how and why you handle your money the way you do. So have you ever heard of Noom and other, I would call them neurological services? So Noom helps you lose weight. And they do it by helping you to understand why you do what you do. Right? Because if you're going to identify why you do something, you can change the habit. It might be tough. It might still be tough, but you know exactly why you're doing something. Right? So if I'm sitting here thinking and I'm literally just thinking, I might start going, I'm hungry. I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry at all. I'm just not fully engaged. I need several different things coming at me to be fully engaged. And then I don't think about food. To the point where people have to say, have you eaten? I mean, I'm a big boy. It's not really a hard question, but sometimes I'll just get deep into what I'm doing with all these things going on. I work best when I have a lot of things going on and I don't eat. But if I'm idle, I'm bored. And so it comes down to, you're not hungry, you're just bored. So how do I make myself not bored? Get up and go for a walk, try to do some busy work. So that's what led me to create a list of busy work that I have, right? I don't have to think about this work. I can just snatch something off that list and just bang it out. I'm busy. I'm not bored anymore. I'm not going to be hungry. So a book like that makes me think of the same thing. It's helping you to identify why you do something and helping you not just identify it, but maybe help you figure out how to get around it to change the habit. Or maybe it's a good habit, to how to reinforce that habit. But understanding why you do things, that's a big deal. So I will definitely look at that book. Big Short, Too Big to Fail, Titans. Yeah, that was the one, Titans. Titans Rise and Fall, the Rise and Fall of Wall Street, and Follow the Money are good movies to watch to learn about the financial history for those who are curious. I would also say Margin Call, Too Big to Fail. You already have that. Do you have The Big Short? The Big Short is another one. What was that movie? The Founder. The Founder. That's a good inspirational movie about the guy who actually he didn't create McDonald's, but he created the modern day McDonald's. McDonald's was two brothers, McDonald's, plural. And he got rights to McDonald's and started doing things differently. And he thought he was buying a restaurant business. And then he met some guy, and the guy was like, you're not in the restaurant business, you're in the real estate business. And it completely changed how they did things going forward. Completely changed it. Turned the world on its ear. And that's why you have so many of those franchises doing the same thing as McDonald's. They created the recipe. That was the recipe. Wow. So The Founder is another one that I like for inspiration. But yeah, I think that I'll probably create a little list, like a place where we can keep a list of reading recommendations, viewing recommendations. I think that's a good idea. That book is something that I definitely want to get my hands on. I'm going to copy that right now because we actually have a library of books. There you go. that I can if I leave the name of a book on a board in my office, somebody's gonna go get that book. Somebody's gonna go get that book, and I'll be able to read that book because we share books. But that's great. Those are great recommendations. Rick Ritchie, thank you for that list, and A Pause, thank you for that. That's huge. Morgan Housel. How and why you handle your money the way you do. I'm interested in the book because I wonder if they address long-term and short-term goals. That I think would be huge. Think and Grow Rich by Hill is awesome too. Thank you for that. There are a lot of good books out there. I've never heard of that one. Who Moved My Cheese is another one. That's like my go-to book. Every couple of years, I read that book because I forget it. And the lesson in it is tremendous. Tremendous. Right? It's about knowing when to stop and enjoy. And it's also about knowing when to not rest on your laurels. Kind of a big deal. Kind of a big deal. Have you guys been looking at the news? A Microsoft study highlighted white-collar jobs vulnerability to automation. Shocker. Thank you. Shocker. Who Moved My Cheese? Don't ask me who the author is. I don't know. I'm trying to. No, that's not it. I was trying to see if I had it on one of these shelves, but I don't. It's on top of it's on top of the credenza over there. There are a lot of books. Read the books. Don't try to mimic the books. Learn from the books. Who Moved My Cheese? Yeah. Listening to that book and it's a quick read. It is a very quick read. But the lessons within that book are no joke. The lessons within that book are no joke. You want to know what else is a good book? No, I'm not going to do that. Told you, it's hard for me not to brag a little bit. Something else happened. So BitGo went IPO. They had set their IPO price at $18. Popped up to 24, landed on 20, and then went below the 18, dropping all the way down to, I think, like, I want to say 15, but I'd have to look it up again. See, now I want to know. BitGo stock. 14. That's ugly. Like I said, it came out the door at almost $24, and now it's all the way down to $14.53. Wow, that's a precipitous fall. Courtney Johnson, richest man in Babylon. Ledger is in talks to go IPO as well. That article is on the site. Gah! Yeah, we know these things. Ledger going IPO. Ledger contemplating going IPO is a big deal. That's a very interesting thing. I'm really thinking that. So when you go IPO, you're basically saying, as somebody who's got a lot of stock, you're going to say, well, I think it's time for me to cash out a little bit. The way you cash out is you go IPO. But I think IPOs are going to have competition coming because you have a lot of other platforms that are saying we can do private placement of these shares. Back in the day, and if you wanted to get in on a new company, you had to know people. Nowadays, you just need to know what platform there is. So there's Hive. What's the other one? There's Hive, HIIVE. There's Hive, and then there's another one. Go look up competitors to Hive, and you'll see other ones that do the same thing. Those are interesting. Hutanic, thanks for letting us know you're investing in yourself. Ready for no power for a couple of days. Silver above 103 and gold about to pop 5K. Yep. Remember when we were talking about gold popping 4K? No, crap. Weren't we talking about gold cracking 2K? I could have sworn we had that conversation. I know we had the conversation about 4K, but that was recent. I'm pretty sure we also had a conversation about 2K. Wow. And now we're having a conversation about 5. I know there were a couple of people out there that were laughing when I said, yeah, it's going to, silver's going to hit, 100. We had all been saying that. It's going to hit 100. And people were like, nah, not from here. It's not going to hit 100. And look at it now. 3K. Thank you. So imagine sitting there and talking about 3K. That conversation wasn't that long ago. Precious metals have always been a big deal, but just saying. A rising gold price is an indication of a failing currency. You've said that before. Hutanik said that before. Yeah. There's nothing else to say about that. Yes, it is. Hold the phone, though, because my question becomes, and my question still remains, I know what my answer is, but what takes over after the dollar? I don't think there's a clear, solid winner to that. Why go IPO when they can do it with crypto? Since we'll all move there at the end. How do I explain this? There's a difference between having a crypto project, and there's a difference between selling your crypto, not crypto, tokenizing your stock and letting that go across the blockchain. That's ownership. Having a coin is not ownership, but tokenizing your stock and selling it on the blockchain, that's ownership. Ham's House. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. The GMB 3, coined by Ham's House. That's a great book, though you were talking about talking books. Just Go On, Richest Man in Babylon. Yeah, I got to get that book. There's a whole list of these books. Now I got to go get them. That's hold it. I didn't copy that. Yep, that one. Copy. Because so me and my team, we listen to books. Sometimes we just listen to regular books. Sometimes we listen to inspirational books. Sometimes we're listening to just regular books. When I was writing my books, I had to sit there and listen to my books a lot. It was painful. Just saying. I mean, if you want, you could buy crypto foundations. You could buy the GMB3. You can look me up on Amazon. They're there. Just saying, if you want to buy some nice books that are helpful. Just saying. If you want to. If you feel compelled. I've been listening, but dollar debasement made the ears stand up. Would I say debasement? Why does the leading fiat fail? Right? Like, no joke. Yo, trader, you need help. The leading fiat fails usually because it gets too big for its own britches. Right? It's usually not other countries debasing it. It's you've gotten too big for yourself, and now people don't like you. They're moving over here. I want you to listen to something, and I've been saying it for a while, and it's along the same lines. I've been saying that we have a lot of institutional investment in Bitcoin. And I've also been saying that if there becomes too much institutional investment in Bitcoin itself, what's going to happen? People will leave it. People will leave it and they'll go to something else. I gave the example of, gold is mad expensive. So I should probably cover up a little bit. So gold is mad expensive. A lot of people aren't buying gold rings anymore when they get married because gold is mad expensive. Think about that. So if institutions take over Bitcoin, people are going to leave. They'll go someplace else and use something else. It is not impossible for another coin to outshine and surpass Bitcoin. There are a lot of coins out there that I think are capable of doing it. For various reasons, capable of doing it. The nearest three, Ethereum, XRP, and BNB. You heard me. Anybody out there that's going to yap about freaking Solana, we can have that debate. I don't think you want to, but we can have that debate. For those that don't know, there are two digital gold tokens, XAUT, supposedly not allowed within the United States, and PAX-G. There are others, but those are the two biggies. XAUT is by Tether. PAX-G is by Paxos. Just saying. Odyssey pays Liberty tokens for content. I don't know what that means. Now is not a jokey kind of time. Have you really imagined what it would be like if the dollar wasn't king? Yes. I've been preparing, but it's kind of spooky. No. Seriously. Happens all the time. Look around the world and see who's using what in what country. Happens all the time. I mean, not all the time. It's not like a daily event, but you can see it happen. Wars can cause it. Just different things can make that happen. You've got countries right now where the people are more reliant on digital assets than they are on their local fiat. I said the other day that, millions were bought millions of Tether were bought. Why? To shore up the real in Iran. Yeah. The Think and Grow Rich was funded by Andrew Carnegie and written by Napoleon Hill, with over 100 million copies sold since 1937. I mean, if you care about that kind of thing. I mean, 100 million copies. I was being funny, but 100 million copies. What? That's insane. There are books out there that give you a baseline understanding of something, and they give you, from that baseline, you can now grow your knowledge. I love books like that. That's what I'm looking for. When I say do your own research, I don't mean take a cursory review of something. I mean dig deep. Learn the lesson. Learn what went right, what went wrong. Some of these movies that we're mentioning, are they 100% true? No. But is a lot of it true? Yes. Margin call really, really went into the characters that were involved. There are a few. Go back and look at these things. Look at the shows. Look at the books. A lot of these things, 1929, they give you a really good idea. And this was a while ago. I think mid last year, I had read a couple of books and I had seen a couple of things, and I said, what I noticed about everything. I feel like I missed something. Trader G, I'll get back to that point about you driving. I didn't see that. I was reading all this stuff, and I said the one thing that carries through between all of this, all of the problems that we've ever had with regard to our money, all of them, they all came down to one thing. Two things, really one thing. Because of the two things, there's one thing. And people would say, oh, it's greed. It's not greed. It's ego. It's ego. Ego saw us fail in 1929. Ego saw us fail many times up to 2008. So it made us fail then too. Ego. It all comes down to ego. Money is just money. Wealth is just wealth. That wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. You could say, oh, this person's greedy, this person's greedy, this person's greedy. But sometimes it's just the ego. Every single time it's about the ego. The mindset of ego is what compels a person to be greedy. All comes down to ego. All comes down to ego. And it's jaw-dropping. It is jaw-dropping. When you see these things happen, you're just like, that's unbelievable. Until you realize, holy crap, it's all quite believable. Read, watch, learn, put it into practice. Be mindful of what you shouldn't be putting into practice. No joke. I drive 3 hours a day for work. Love Audible and downloadable YouTube videos. Hint, hint. Bruh. You have YouTube music. You can hear everything on YouTube music. Wah. Smart Alec. What else was there? Just trying to go through everything to make sure I didn't miss anything. How did I miss that? It was right between... whatever. Glad I caught it. Back to your point, Courtney. Have you really imagined what it would be like for the dollar not to be the one? Yes. In a lot of countries, they deal in other fiat, not the dollar. The dollar is most prevalent when it comes to cross-border transactions. There are some countries you can go and you can whip out a dollar, you can whip out a peso, you can whip out different currencies, and different stores will accept multiple currencies. That's why I said I don't think there's going to be a single digital asset that's going to be handled by a store. It'll be multiple. It will be multiple. I said it today. I had to do a whole bunch of running around because just like Hutanic, just preparing for the worst. And I was speaking with somebody and I said, my mother taught me a lesson. My mother's lesson was never make it hard for somebody to give you money. So if somebody walks in the door and they say, oh, I only have XRP. Do you accept XRP? Give me a minute. Boop, 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 boop. I'll be accepting XRP right there. Takes 2 seconds to create that wallet. 2 seconds. Boom. I accept XRP. Here's the address. You can send the money there. Send the value there. Because technically digital assets are not money. Yeah. You start to learn things. Bob Franklin, have you invested in yourself today? And those are pretty good statements. 8 pause. If you make me laugh again, I'm so happy I had already swallowed my drink. You're asking for it. You are asking for it. Cut it out. I would have choked. I would have choked. The glass is not too full. This is number 3. Because I'll be up late. I will be up very late working. There's nothing more, for me, there's nothing more invigorating or inspirational or just pumps air into my wings than when my team goes, hey, go take a look at this. And it's been a few weeks of, hey, go look at this. And it's been like, so now literally right now it's a matter of making it all look pretty, making sure everything works the way it's supposed to work and all that good stuff. There's a lot of stuff. All those tiny little things. We introduced a new feature today. Luckily, it's on the site, but we're not really out there with the site. But by launching something, we turned something else off that we didn't mean to turn off. It's a simple fix, but we need to check in on all those things. And we have somebody writing a script that will check all the features. What else? Did I miss anything? Thank you for asking that question, Rick Ritchie. Back to your point about Andrew Carnegie funding it. I want to say you've mentioned this before because I remember that one point. Wow. Something freaky today, and it just taught me a really big lesson. That you're never too big to fail. So it was early in the morning. Was it before the show? Yeah, it was. I think it was just before the show. I think it was like a minute or two just before the show. Couple of minutes. My daughter comes running into my office. Dad, there's a coyote in my backyard, and I've got to deal with the coyotes. You stay on the golf course. You don't come over here. You come over here, open game, son. I'm about to walk around with a new fur coat. We have a deal. That's the deal. I have a deal in my house with spiders too. As long as I don't see you, I don't have to kill you. But if I see you, I must kill you and your whole family. That's how that works. And so far, they've been very respectful. Just saying. So I'm daddy. My daughter's got to go to work. She's going to have to walk over to her car. So I'm daddy. So I walk outside. And I see Coyote for sure. Coyote heard me coming out the door, saw me coming out the door, and started moving away from me. And I was like, the coyote's hind legs were taken out. Not bloody or anything like that, but could not move, paralyzed. Like we called the catcher to come catch the coyote and everything, and they got the coyote and everything. But it taught me that coyote lost. That coyote lost. There was a fight between a couple of coyotes, and somebody was going to get that crown, and that was the loser. No other coyotes in the vicinity. That one lost. Just saying. So yeah, and let me tell you something. Coyotes around here like docile. I mean, they're wild animals, but docile. What's my opinion on Ben Franklin's 13 Virtues? I assume you might have. I have heard of them. I haven't looked at them. Ben Franklin has a very Ben Franklin has a very different kind of past that I don't care for. And just because you came up with something that makes sense. So I never followed the 13 Virtues. So I don't really have an opinion. I'll say it like that. Not trying to be funny. But if you drop me a note, I'll look into them and then I'll form an opinion. Just look. Ben Franklin, 13 virtues. 13 necessary virtues. Temperance, silence, order, frugality, industry, sincerity, justice, moderation, cleanliness, tranquility, chastity, humility. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that alone. He's got a very, very interesting past, so I'm gonna leave those alone. That's very interesting. The Republic by Plato should be required reading in school. Give me a moment. I'm thinking, because I know in high school we read a lot of Plato. I'm trying to remember if that was one of the books. It's been years, as you might suspect. I might have to ask. I might have to ask one of my friends. I can't say no. I can't say yes that we've read it. The Bronx High School of Science has a different perspective on education, so we weren't reading the normal books that other high schoolers were reading. Very, very thoughtful, deep books that required interpretation, like Plato. Not something that's straightforward, needs interpretation. Because all books after a certain age require a certain amount of interpretation to get it into your period of time where it might be useful information. Hence interpretation. Man, I wish I could remember that. I'm going to have to ask somebody. If we read that book. I do not recall it, but I will add it to the list. Yeah, we should create a list. We should create a list of readings and stuff like that, because that's actually interesting. I feel like I missed somebody. I'm just trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. Bob Franklin, you did not respond to Rick Ritchie's question, which was the same question I asked. Alts are like buying land where you know they will lay train tracks back in the day. Layer 1 smart contracts will explode. Just get set up now. Good insight. Very good insight. Remember I told you guys that I was looking at use cases? Why is Eddie looking at use cases? I'm looking at use cases because why else would I want to invest in a given token or coin? Used interchangeably, but they shouldn't be. But you can get that from my book, Crypto Foundations for Building Multi-Generational Wealth. I'm just saying. Anyway, all jokes aside, I need to know your use case. I need to know who else serves that same use case as a primary reason for having that project, right? And then I look at things like that. So I look at Chainlink, I look at Pith. Who's the next oracle after Chainlink? Arguably, it's Pith, but who else? That's why when I see Chainlink go on frickin' sale like it is now, where's Chainlink? 15? It's 13. It's been surpassed by Monero, which is now 12. And Monero's got a little way to go before it can surpass Bitcoin Cash to land at number 11. But once it passes that one, surpassing Cardano, which is only at $12.9 billion, that's not hard. Monero can get there quick. And I don't think anybody's paying attention to Hyperliquid. And you should look at the cutoffs between some of these coins. Like Doge is basically sitting in a category all by itself. It's a full $8 billion above Cardano. And it's $52 billion away from Solana. I don't talk about Tron because I don't trust Tron. But Bob Franklin, have you invested in yourself today? That's the community rule. Have you invested in yourself today? That's the big question. You have at least a little bit because you looked at the chart, but we want to know. We want that. We want an affirmative response in that one. Solana's not doing all that well. It's hovering at 127. Interesting. Very interesting. Like I'm looking at the changing of guard. If you look at DAI, stablecoin, it's ranked right now at 21 with $5.3 billion. Yes, every day. That's what we're talking about. Some of us do it every day, but some of us forget to do it every day. And that's one of the driving factors, is that we want you to do your own research every day. That's a part of investing in yourself, because in order for you to survive, you're going to have to invest. And your first investment is yourself. Big deal. Very big deal. I think that as more and more people start looking at what's going on in the economies around the world, notice how I said that in plural, you start to realize, holy moly, yeah, investing in yourself is a very big deal. Ando's not playing games. Stanley Dixon off the top rope. Yep, Ando's not playing games. It took over 150 stocks and put them on Solana. In terms of real world assets, kind of a big deal. Kind of a big deal. And this is what we're following. This is what we're talking about. This is why we look at these things. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do me a favor, smash the likes, tell your friends about this community, and if you can, go over to GrowMyBag.tv and become a member. Membership comes with benefits, a lot of benefits. If you want, become a member of Big Baggers. We have a couple more groups that are going to come online that would probably be helpful to you as well. You might want to look into those things. But for now, smash the likes, subscribe to the channel. Come on over, become a member, because that's when you get access to a whole bunch of stuff. Because once we launch everything as a package, you're not going to be able to read those articles for free anymore. You're going to have to be a member. You're going to have to be a member. And at $1 a month, I don't know. I think all of you can afford to become members. All right. Everybody, this is Eddie J on crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your patience. And as always, thank you for your trust. We've got more coming, people. We've got a hell of a lot more coming. Have a great night. I'll see you, at the very least, I'll see you Sunday, 4 p.m. for the roundup. Everybody have a good one, and thank you. Bye-bye.